how did the nickname happen? What caused you guys to be called the Donut Boys or Brothers?
Donut Brothers. Yeah.
What happened?
We ate a lot of donuts. It's pretty simple.
That doesn't seem real nutritious. You're high-class professional athletes.
Well, it was high-calorie protein power in those donuts that people don't know about. It did. It really helped us.
Now, what kind were they?
Krispy Kremes all the way. We actually invented the little 9-second thing on the side of the box. We did that long before they ever printed it on the box.
We should have patented that or something.
We could have been rich.
Now, one of the most famous stories was Jim Hannaford. Can you condense it and tell us what you guys actually did? It's terrible.
It wasn't us.
Oh, no.
It was not us.
Completely innocent.
It was no one I know other than some guy named Ryan. Yeah.
Set it up. What actually happened?
So we were eating donuts like we normally are before practice, before our meetings, and we're heating them up in the microwave and eating them. And Ryan Tucker came through, took a donut and dipped it in the paraffin wax in the training room and brought it back and put it in the box. Well, we didn't really pay attention to it.
Just like glaze, right?
Yeah, it looked like a normal glaze. Yeah. Well, Hanny walks by for the meeting, grabs half, breaks it in half, sets it back down in the box and pops it in his mouth and eats it walking into the meeting room. We didn't think anything of it. We go back to the locker room and Ryan's busting a gut laughing. We're like, what is so funny? He's like, I tried to get you guys with the paraffin wax and Hanny ate it. So.
And then after practice, did he get to the other half?
Yeah, he came back and ate the other half, which is the best part of the story. He didn't even notice the bad taste, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I told him, I'm like, Ryan, you could kill the old man. Is that stuff toxic or not? So he had to go check with the trainers and find out paraffin wax is not toxic if you're looking at home.
Yeah.
So.
What's it like knowing that for about 3 or 4 years, you guys literally had the best offense in football, not only then, but it's considered like one of the greatest offenses of all time, when you look back on that?
Well, you miss it. You miss all the fun. It was just a lot of fun, especially with the guys that we had, the crew that we had, and I can speak specifically for the offensive line room. I mean, we had a bunch of great guys, and we just had a lot of fun. I mean, it was the whole offensive team completely. You trust the guy next to you, and you knew what they were going to do, what they were supposed to do, and it worked out great. We had great coaches, a great team, great players. So
that's awesome. How do you remember?
We just loved being around each other. We had some great players. The camaraderie, like Andy said, that we had on the offensive line was phenomenal. The most fun I've ever had playing a year of sports. It doesn't matter what age or whatever it was. It was the most fun I ever had. And that team that year, we just gained confidence. Every week we got better and pushed each other. And Coach Vermeil was great at just, finding a way we worked hard, but we had fun. So.
And be honest, even though you're a fellow Iowa guy, when they gave the job to Kurt, you never thought this.
Actually, yeah, he was my high school Shrine Bowl quarterback, so it was like I went back in time a little bit. So
you thought, we're going to be fine?
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. Did you have that same kind of confidence?
Well, I didn't know Kurt as well. I just met him that year, but you could tell right there from training camp. You could tell there was something special about him, and he put his heart and soul into it, just like everybody else. So it's very, very, very great memories coming in here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, walking in this building, I know you've been back here since, but boy, when you walk back here, the memories just must be flowing.
Absolutely. I mean, we were out there in the little lobby where our families would wait after the game and stuff. A lot of memories of what our kids running around and before and after the game. But walking through that little tunnel there brought back a lot of good memories, absolutely.
Tell me one great Dick Vermeil story or something that just jumped out at you that made him the most unique guy I'm sure you've ever played for.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, Dick, as you know, will shed a tear every now and then. And that was a little different for me coming here. The first couple meetings, he started, telling some stories, but you knew that Dick cared. You knew that he loved the guys and he cared about guys, and he would bring back guys from the past, and he'd talk about them with tears in their eyes because it meant a lot to him. And you appreciate that, and that's the kind of coach you want to play for.
How about it?
I think my favorite Coach Vermeil story was our first season here. First week of the season, he comes over and gives me his credit card. And he's like, hey, you guys need to go out as an offensive line. You guys got to go hang out. So we did. Went out like the first Thursday night of the week. Went out, took his credit card. We spent quite a bit on his credit card, and went out, had a great time. So the second week, he comes back. He's like, okay, here's my credit card again. We're like, hey, Coach, I think we make enough money. We're just going to rotate. But we spent every Thursday night out together as an offensive line, and that really galvanized our offensive line together. And we were there for each other. We had each other's backs, and that's very important in offensive line play. So, but I think Coach just had a way of bringing guys together, bringing teams together. And every year you have a different chemistry, but he had a great way of just solidifying that team concept.
And final thought, are you surprised with a Ricky Prohl coach team, they're not throwing it every time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. But you got to do what you got to do. They got a pretty good offense, good run. I think their running back is
well.
leading the league in rushing, so they're doing a pretty good job.
Awesome. Any thoughts on Rick being a head coach?
Oh, I think we could have seen it a lot of years ago. He just had those things. I remember him taking Torrey Holt, a young guy, under his wing, and teaching him some things about being a professional athlete. So I think we all saw it in the locker room that it was possible for him to lead a team like this.